Good evening, everybody. Week 3 of Style Esports is here, and we have some beef on the menu here, Thousand Eyes. University of Alberta Amber versus the Alberta Beef. The name just makes sense because these are two Canadian teams going head to head, and there is probably no love lost between the two of them.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I mean, obviously there is gonna be the rivalry there, but more importantly, we do have again really solid players in this lobby right now. We have a lot of diamonds, like high diamonds. We have a lot of master players as well. So it's gonna be a very fun and interesting night. As I do want to give the heads up, we do have Alberta Amber on the blue side, and we do have Alberta Beef on the red. Unfortunately, the draft law did not have the names, but we are getting through our ban phase here, which does include a Shen, a Kindred, a Nunu, and a Darius and Olaf here, as Maokai will be taken off as well. A very solid jungler that has been nerfed recently.
Yeah, and those nerfs are probably warranted, right? This is
Yeah,
an
yeah,
incredibly
for
strong
sure.
jungler, right? And
Yeah.
it was probably time to kind of get him taken care of. But I'm interested to see what Alberta Amber is going to come through with their first pick here. They do have, they have a lot of really good options because not only are there really strong picks, these are really strong players. I anticipate they'll be able to play pretty much anything that they want to go with. And it looks like we're going to see a first pick Ashe, which is not what I had on the radar at all. Tess.
Yeah. So I know Ashe. I've seen a little bit of Ashe just in style and in a couple of other games here. It's obviously really capable of kiting out very well, and just has that extra range. However, you do have to pair it up with something that can bring a little bit of extra damage a lot of times, because unless the Ashe gets really fed, it does not compare to a lot of other AD carries. And we're already seeing Graves locked in here for the jungle, I would assume, over on the side of Alberta Beef. They're going to be getting a solid, clear jungler that is going to scale nicely into this late game.
Yeah, and all the good news is we know what these teams want to put around their first picks. You've brought the CC with the Ashe. You're going full damage with Graves on the other side. So see if they're going to elect to, go full into CC in like their solo lanes or something like that. Great way for Graves to be able to get off ganks. And we're going to see a Twitch get picked up as well. So they are going full whole hog on the damage here. And these are two very big threats that Alberta Amber is going to have to be aware of.
Absolutely, yeah, and this is already like very scary. Like fights are already kind of weird when you have a Graves involved, because he can just hop over walls. He can just come out of places where you don't expect him and pinch people very hard. And Twitch is also very capable of doing that. So already it's looking like we're gonna get a very skirmishy type of composition from Alberta Beef. They're gonna be looking to play all over the place and not give any time to breathe over to Alberta Amber, who are picking up the Wukong, looking a little bit more like a standard composition you would see.
Yeah, and the Wukong going to create a lot of space, give a lot of protection for this Ashe to cook a little bit. And if they do end up pairing it up with what it looks like could be a Rakan here, I mean, Ashe Rakan, that's a pretty strong lane. You're going to see a lot of people. They end up going with the Thresh. That also works very well, especially with a lot of Threshes going Glacial Augment. I mean, they're not going to be able to move if Thresh lands a Flay.
Yeah, this hopefully at least gonna give a lot of lane presence too, because there's a lot of matchups that Thresh does enjoy going up against, and when you pair it, like you said there, with the Ashe there too, it's a lot of slows. It's very hard to get away from, and I've seen it time and time again. You get in onto one of these bot laners and Ashe follows up, you can't get away from her, and she will just walk you back down to the tower as she keeps melting you down slowly but surely.
Victor going to get the lock in here for the Alberta Beef. Not a ton of guaranteed CC for the bot lane and the mid lane here for the side of the Beef. Obviously, Victor's gravity well is pretty solid, but it's nothing instant or anything like that. It does require a couple of seconds of setup. So, there's some very clear options that they can go with out of their jungle and top lane. We'll see what gets banned away by Alberta Amber. They're going to go with that Renekton first. No bully laner up in the top lane.
Yeah, taking out a little bit of the fighters up on that top side there. I'm a little surprised to see the Talon taken off here, as I'm assuming that is just more of a just a pocket pick for one of these players. But I'm also just kind of interested now with Renekton and Rumble, who are very, very strong on this patch, taken out. What are we going to get on this top side? Obviously, Alberta Beef, they kind of just want to continue on trying to get more skirmishy here. I would expect they still want to get some kind of a fighter on the top side, as we're going to probably see a support pick here. The Bard is the lock-in, and I don't normally think of Bard with Twitch, to be honest, but I can kind of see it.
Yeah.
You can roam at the same time, I guess.
Mm.
But man, it feels a little weird because if a hook hits, there's not a lot unless you have things lined up that Bard can do to stop Ashe from running people down.
Yeah, the good news is Bard can deal some damage to Thresh. It's like not the worst thing in the world, but Bard Twitch is not, again, a strong combination that we would really expect to see. So we'll have to see how that lane shakes out. We're going to see a Xerath get picked up in the mid lane here for Alberta Amber. And you know what? Nice long range artillery mage with all the space getting created by everybody else. I mean, that should have just a very easy time, just kind of chilling out, farming up, poking people down this mid lane. Could be a little bit of a snooze fest, but there is potential for ganks to occur. And I like this Ornn pickup because I think Ornn would have been a really great pick for Alberta Beef. And you know what? It's a great pick for University of Alberta Amber here. It fits really well into their team composition. So Red, they're going to have to dig deeper into the pool, find something else here. This Malphite they're hovering doesn't seem to be a terrible option.
Yeah, it still gives them kind of the same concept of what Ornn would be. Just a team fight tank who is going to try and fight with the ultimate up. And they have switched that, though. It looks like it is going to be the Alawi.
Oh,
and
man.
they're just going to go full skirmish composition.
I hate
right?
this comp.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of it, especially because I don't think the Victor is what you want with this, of all things, right? Like, if they had just gone full out, like, okay, we're just going to... I think, honestly, the Twitch Yumi would have been pretty solid, because that just allows Twitch to make the call for the roam at any time. But I kind of wish that they had just gone full out with it and picked some mid laner that is also going to look to do the same thing, because the Victor doesn't really want to do that. He's much more of that team fight style of mid laner who wants to scale up and get to these late game fights and fight in a way that is more front to back. Victor's not going to be happy with all of these all over the place fights, because you're going to have a Wukong just running directly at him.
Yeah, and that you're not going to have enough room to cook. You're not going to have enough time. You're just going to be running around, and we all know Victor, he limping around, right? Everybody's probably watched Arcane at this point. My man is limping around. It's going to be a really difficult time of him trying to get away. And, these team fights that are going to occur, I mean, I just don't see how the Beef are going to be able to make anything happen. They're going to have to win through split pushing, which is something that their composition does excel at, right? Alawi and Victor are fantastic side laners. Graves is a great early aggressive jungler. So if you can see this Graves get an advantage on this Wukong and kind of dissuade any ganks and allow an easier laning phase for Victor and Alawi, I can see how the Alberta Beef can like what they've put together and feel like they're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I just feel like the Victor doesn't provide a whole lot here that other champions wouldn't do, right? Because it's like, oh, if Graves and Twitch get ahead, or if Graves and Alawi get ahead, it's like, well, okay, Graves and Alawi are ahead, but what is the composition then doing as a whole? But regardless, we've harped on that one enough. I want to talk a little bit about Alberta Amber's composition, because it is, again, more of that standard team fight style of composition. But the one thing that I am a little bit concerned of, and I'm going to be keeping my eye on, is the damage output of this team, because you're looking at a Xerath and an Ashe as the backbone of your damage. These are not champions that are known for their ability to DPS. So if you get a fed Alawi, if you get a Graves that is just able to one-shot people here, you're not actually going to be able to win fights terribly well, because you may not have that damage to really continue taking fights. If you fall behind here, you're not really going to be able to burn through enough.
Yeah, their poke is fantastic, and their engage is really good. So that's going to be the way that they're going to be winning most of their fights, is making sure that Xerath and Ashe can get that poke down. But like you said, Speedbag is going to have to do a lot of the heavy lifting here in terms of damage. Like you're going to need this Wukong to be in the middle of fights, dealing a lot of damage in order for this team to be successful. And I think they're going to have to slow play a lot of these objective fights if they are even 5-on-5s.
Yeah, that's I think that's really the big thing too. Is just like you have the poke,
Mhm.
Ash Volley, Xerath Q and W. Obviously, you have the ability to wear these people down. You just have to be able to find them first, and
Yeah.
that's maybe the critical thing here that I think Alberta Beef have to play around with, right? You've got Bard Portal, you've got Twitch Invis, you've got Graves being able to dash over walls pretty easily. There's a lot of ways to start these fights out that can work out really well from you, and then you just take that lead and you run with it, and you just utilize your gold advantage as best you can. I want to see Alberta Beef pull that off, but I also want to see if Alberta Amber really just have the answer for that of just grouping up and not giving them that opportunity to pick people off. If you are alone as Alberta Amber's composition, they are very much worth less than the sum of their parts. And that has to be the thing that they remember as they go through this game.
And one interesting thing to point out too that we didn't really talk about, Alberta Amber has a little bit of a pick composition themselves too, right?
A
Like
little bit, yeah.
Ash can start a fight from anywhere with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Zareth can land a stun, and if a Thresh or Wukong follow up on that, we could see some dead members because there isn't a whole lot of beef on the side of Alberta Beef. But
Mm-hmm.
we'll have to see how things shake out as the teams are ready to go. We're going to hit the spectator delay for a very short break, and when we return, we'll be on the Rift for Game 1 of Alberta Amber versus Alberta Beef. All right, everybody, we're on to Summoner's Rift here for game one between Alberta Amber and Alberta Beef. Remember, if you weren't here for the draft, Alberta Amber, they're on the blue side. Alberta Beef will be on the red side. They got the red meat here today.
They do. They do. They're looking to end this early. They want a very rare piece of meat.
Listen.
I got halfway through that and I was like, I don't know if this is correct. I don't cook enough to know if I'm right on this.
I mean, if something is, rare, then it's
they don't want to spend a lot of time in the oven on this one.
Yeah,
they want to make sure they end this game as early as they can here. We're gonna get a little bit of early warding, and seems like we're going to get both junglers starting on the red buff here, and they will mirror. So no counter ganks in the early game, it seems.
Yeah, everybody's just kind of chill out here and have a good time. I'm very excited for them to, have a good time. Everybody, standard stuff, really. And I think that I'm not sure who exactly that's going to benefit, right? It seems like it's good for both of these junglers, nobody's just kind of disrupting them, unbothered, unbroken, in their lane, whatever that meme is.
I don't even know the meme. That's the problem. You were referencing that earlier when we were hanging out, and I'm just like, I don't know the meme.
That's okay. You don't need to know the memes. All you need to know is the League of Legends. So you can see Goach is getting a little bit of auto attacks down onto that Ashe, and there wasn't that much coming back from the other end.
Yeah, I mean, Twitch obviously does have that really solid level 1, especially if you're starting E with that Hail of Blades. You can just get in their face and basically win trades as long as you're not going up against another Hail of Blades user there. And on top of that, just starting out with the hook, not able to land that one through the wave, and that does give a really solid advantage. Top lane's getting real funky, though.
Oh, yeah. Bye loves you has to say bye as they flash away. And I like the scrappiness coming out from both of these top laners. Both of them knowing that they have the potential to win fights. You saw the damage that was coming out from Ornn as well.
Yeah, Ornn is trading at least respectably here, but it is obviously just going to be the Alawi, and that's going to get worse as this lane goes on here for a bit, because Alawi, just all you have to do on that champion is just hit one E, and all of a sudden you have complete control of that lane, and you're forcing your opponent to back away. I'm also just kind of keeping my eyes down here on this bot side as well, because it's another lane that is very heavily reliant on hitting that CC in order to make something happen. Is AFK Shadow.
Okay. Ooh, thought we were going to see something happen with the dive there. AFK Shadow did get very low. Speed bag. Just getting in there. No summoners burnt either, so this is looking really good for Astakaza, who's showing up on the bottom side in kind. We'll see if anything happens to that. He's going to go scope out the bottom side jungle, but find that everything is already gone.
Yeah, I mean, Speedbag went directly up there. Hasn't even done any of the top side jungle, but everything on the bot side already gone. See, Bard is roaming around, and there it is very, very clear that Alberta Amber know there is the fear of that Bard and Graves being up in that river area. They just want to shove this wave in and get it back away so they do not run the risk of getting collapsed on.
Yeah, and they're going to look to shove everything into Goach there, get their backs in. And so far, so chill here for pretty much all of the map aside from the top lane. Small CS lead coming out of this Twitch. Very, very pleased with that, especially because, that's scaling. Very, very important. You get CS leads early. That means things are going pretty well so far. As you can see, Tears of Winter all up in the face of That and putting a lot of damage down onto the Xerath.
Yeah, really, really good too for Victor as well, because that is a lane where if you don't start to get control and get in the face of Xerath, even as somebody like Victor, you want to at least be getting in there for the lasers and the Qs. Top lane's still just going at it here, and I'm worried to keep talking because I just feel like at any moment we could just see just a full engage fight.
Yeah, something can happen, right? And you see Astakaza hovering around the top side. Right now, it's a level lead here for the Ornn, so there's always a chance that they want to pull the trigger sometime soon before AFK Shadow hits level 5. Graves will be waiting in the wings for that. So he's going to go scope out the top side of the jungle and find nothing there as well. AFK Shadow now at level 5, closer to half HP. The Grave's in the area. It's just, is Baya Loves You gonna snuff out this bait? Is gonna take a little bit of damage on the way out. They're gonna have to dodge some tentacles to make sure that they survive, but no worse for wear.
Yeah, that back's gonna get interrupted. But yeah, no problem on that. And I'm a little, granted, I like the push in. I think Alawi was gonna have that regardless. We're gonna stay for this one, and that's a little unfortunate for AFK Shadow.
Oh my. Oh my god. I'm at the edge of my seat! And it's first blood for AFK Shadow, the tentacle getting it.
We played the minigame and we lost this time. Unfortunately there for Bai, who does end up going down. Now we get a little bit of a gank at the mid lane.
Yeah, that should be okay, but Astakaza doing a great job of putting a lot of pressure down here. Speedbag kind of just deciding that they're going to farm up, try to hit 6 as soon as possible, but they're leveled down to this Graves right now, which is not something that I'd expect to see given how the jungle clears have gone early. They do have their Sheen power spike though, so any gank that they try, they're gonna have some power behind them.
Ooh, Bard's coming in. This is a level 3 Bard.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be okay. Just gonna take some damage. Speedbag went in for a little bit. There's a lot of damage. Bard just barely surviving. That means Goach on the bottom side is gonna have a really rough time, ignited and low, but still alive.
Yeah, this is why it's like not always great to run that Bard with the Twitch unless you're timing your roams together, I feel like. Because if you're leaving Twitch alone, he is very, very vulnerable unless you really get him that extra help. It's why you see him paired a lot with those like Lulu, Yuumi style of supports, because they just buff him up a lot. He wants that extra help because he can become a god with it. You leave him alone though, and he can be liable to get hit by a hook by a stray CC that will send him into a spiral.
Yeah, good news for Goach is that both summoners still available, so not under any crazy threat right now, and Bard has shown back up as now level 4. So I think it'll be okay for right now, but it is something to certainly watch out for, right? Because that's where you could see a mistake happen here from the Alberta Beef.
Yoyi, maybe a little bit too far forward here.
Yeah, mistakes might be made here for Yoyi, who has to flash away, and everybody flashes after Yoyi, the kitchen sink, and Goach is going to get that kill. Bai Loves You, despite dying for first blood, still recognizes they can scrap, but AFK Shadow a little stronger right now.
Yeah, and just a little bit too far forward on that bot side there. Yoyi pays the price for it. Almost got out with a nice flash, but it is going to be Goach picking up that kill on the bot side, and that's really, really important. And part of that, too, just comes from the fact that Bard was gone for so long. It almost cost them big when Goach did have to get away from that hook and that ignite from Yoyi and Violent Chill, but the fact they were able to turn it around there not only makes it all fine that the Bard was gone so long, but now with a level lead and a kill lead, you're looking at a very, very strong Twitch at this point in the game.
Yeah, 75 CS and counting, and things are okay. As 1,500 in the bank as well, half of his net worth. This Twitch is going to come back with some serious items, and everywhere else on the map is pretty okay. So really, Alberta Beef very happy with the way the beginning of this game has turned out. Astakaza hasn't really had to get their hands too dirty, but feels like they're in a comfortable enough position. As you can see, their dragon getting started on the bottom side of the map here by Alberta Amber, and it looks like they will be able to pick this up without a contest, but it does mean that Rift Herald will go the other way to the Beef.
Yeah, and like you've said, Astakaza has been doing great. I like the pressure that this Graves has been able to bring, despite the fact that there is not a lot of consistent, strong crowd control from any of these lanes, right? Like, you don't have the insta setup as mid lane.
Well, they have the setup for sure. Will they get the kill is the question. Tears of Winter has to sidestep a lot here. Oh my god, the moves! And now Speedbag, you mentioned on the way out, is going to get taken down. Just a memory after that one. And right now, the Alberta Beef blanking Alberta Amber.
Yes, such a good turnaround there, and really big on Tears to be able to sidestep all of that damage, stay alive, and Memories following up for the kill. That's a really unfortunate gank because you really wanted to get some level of tempo in another lane. Bot lane has not had it. You make the roam to try and get it to happen in the mid lane, and not only does it not work, but it goes catastrophically wrong. Everything is going in Alberta Beef's favor right now.
Yeah, and it could have been even worse, but everybody started heading to the top side to bail out the Ornn. Ornn teleporting as well, and there was a chance that that Rift Herald could have been dropped on the top side, but AFK Shadow, Astakaza just figured they wanted to get out of there. Now Memory's looking to make a play with the Bard portal as Goach is gonna come up and open up onto Violent Chill.
Oh, yeah, tower.
Oh, yeah, a little rough there, but Violent Chill down a flash now. So a good job from the bot lane of the Beef, and there's not too much this Ashe can do right now. Just kind of CSing and not making an impact anywhere else.
Yeah, he's trying a nice hook.
Yeah, it does land, but look at the level disparity.
Exactly. I mean, yeah.
It's too much.
That's the risk paid off, right? Leaving Twitch alone ended up working out for them, and now they are reaping the benefits from that. And on top of that, yeah, like you said, they didn't get the kill on the Ashe, but they still do get the flash, and that does mean Ashe has to back, which gives a lot of presence to the spot lane again, which Ashe is gone. Not only can Bard roam, but Twitch can roam pretty reasonably at this point. And now you're trying to make something happen with mid lane again.
Yeah, try number 2, but this time they won't be denied. The question is, Yoyi going to survive? Yeah. Not quite. It ends up being a 1-for-1. And these plays have to just be deflating for Alberta Amber, right? Because they're trying to make things happen. The first time they get nothing. At least this time they get something, but they die in the process.
Yeah, it's really rough because they are attacking what should be realistically like the easiest kind of champion to attack here. You don't want to go to the Alawi. You don't really want to try and fight the Twitch, especially with how safe the Twitch has been. You're going to go for the Victor, and you have the Thresh to roam for it, but it's just not working out. Goach now, though.
Does have cleanse available, is going to burn it. The flash play misses, but is Goach not going to be able to get the kill there as that ignite went down? Give that to Violent Chill. But here comes the Graves. Just a couple of auto attacks should be able to take out this Ashe, who is sprinting away with the Ghost. Yoyi trying to potentially bail him out. Flay is there, ult though lands, and now Yoyi half HP teleport coming in from Malawi. Stun onto the Graves, but the flash forward ignite is down, and Yoyi is going to fall. It's just a formality. That going to AFK Shadow. Speed bag, the knock up onto Bard. Looking to get just a little bit more damage, but AFK Shadow is just so strong. Level 10 right now, has a double kill and wanted to turn on to Yo that as well, who has to run away. And it's just not going well here for Alberta Amber. The Beef have brought the Beef all the smoke, up 5K at 13 minutes.
Yeah, every single time there's some kind of play, there's some kind of attempt at a turnaround, it is Alberta Beef ready to go. A great TP from AFK Shadow to help confirm those kills, and they just swap it nicely. Goach does end up going down, but does just run up to the top side to help AFK Shadow out as they are just going to
He's running down Ornn right now.
Yeah. Because what does Ornn do here?
Cries. Ornn just cries at this point. Tess, it's just... things are just going so bad for Alberta Amber. Send out an Amber alert for them because they are totally lost right now, and they have no answer for anything that Beef are doing. And Memories is ready to make a play. Astakaza is here. The portal is out. Violent Chill and Yoyi, we know they're not strong enough. And Violent Chill, they're going to get the Lantern, but straight into that Bartle. See you later. It's just a matter of who's going to pick up these kills. It's going to be Graves getting them both. A big double kill. They're online in the game now. They have their Duskblade. Objective bounties are available. I mean, this is just going from bad to worse for Alberta Amber.
Absolutely, yeah. And I like that they give them over to the Graves as well, because Alawi is already ahead enough at this point, right? Nobody's going to 1v1 her. Nobody's going to be able to handle that. You don't need to give her more gold. The effective bonus that you're getting from giving Alawi more gold is not as important as getting this Graves off the ground. Coach,
oh no,
he's gonna go for... There's no way he gets out of this. Oh
no, he's long gone.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's long gone. They threw everything they had at him, but it is hard to hit a stealth target. You know, it did look a little weird, but you know, it is what it is. And Yo, that is just gonna fall here. It's just everything is a mess. They're in complete free fall.
Yeah, and I think that like 20-second loop there is just the entire game in a nutshell at this point. It is every time there is some sort of move on the map, it is just countered and it is played out better by Alberta Beef in this game. And they are keeping that pressure on, and they have to, right? Because they are playing the composition that does not want to team fight as much as the opposite side here. So they want to try and get these leads early. They want to play around that, and they're doing a great job of not giving any room. There is no tempo to be had here for Alberta Amber.
Yeah, and at this point, if these teams get in a straight up 5v5 fight, Alberta Amber is not going to win these. You can see the engage going onto Bard, but Goach is here, and Goach is free firing away, but the flash ultimate knocked him up for a second. Is Goach going to be able to cook here? They will be able to get a kill in return. Dragon, though, going to be secured for Beef. They're going to get that Ocean Drake. Top turret on for them as well. More gold going to this Alawi. So it ends up being a 2-for-1, yes, but you still lose so much.
Yeah, it's almost an even trade across the board there, because yeah, you get the extra kill, but you lose out on the dragon, which is a possible win condition for you there, because that they had first dragon. That was something they were able to get going for themselves. Soul is a possible win con for you, and the fact that you're now losing out on that is unfortunate, right? It takes away another opportunity for you because you're gonna just have to wait that much longer, and at the rate this is going, you might not have the opportunity to hit that.
Yeah, they just may be crushed by the weight of the wallets on the side of Beef, as they are ready to just do whatever they need. We didn't think they had too much in the way of engage, and they really don't, but Memories has gotten real creative with these Bard portals. The Bard ultimates that we've seen come out have been really good. We're seeing an ultimate land on a Goach right here, who does have Cleanse available, but is going to get trapped by multiple members in just a second here, but will find their way back to turret, as Speedbag just a little late on that means another Rift Herald going over to Beef.
Yep, as control of the map is just not going to go any different for a while, I believe, as AFK Shadow checks the blue buff, sees it's getting taken away, but a blue buff trade for a Rift Herald is not really what you're looking to get, and that Rift Herald may be getting popped out here very shortly.
Oh no. Things are just not going well for Baya Loves You. They are going to be able to knock up one member. Teleport coming in. Speedbag trying to get in there, but got stunned. Does have the second activation available if they want to drop it, and they are going to use it, but Goach is just going to survive just barely. AFK Shadow gets hooked, but that pulled him closer to everybody else. Ultimate coming out from That, but a nice stun by Memories. They may give their life for it, but they will be able to protect a large majority of their team. Ends up being a 1-for-1 in the end. And that's just a casualty of the map eroding here for Amber.
Yeah, at the very least here, Amber are slowing things down, right? That is just a straight 1v1 or 1-for-1. And granted, yeah, okay, you can make the argument, well, it's jungle versus... Oh, wait, hang on, AFK Shadow.
Shadow's been ignited. There's not going to be any healing coming out here. They're going to try to run away, and that's going to be a big shutdown going over to Violent Chill, who was quietly picked up 4 kills in this game.
Yeah, that's 600 gold to the Ashe now, who's sitting on 4 kills all of a sudden. This is honestly a solid turnaround here in a game that was starting to really get away from Amber. They're able to get an even trade on that fight and then pick up the kill afterwards. AFK Shadow, honestly, just kind of playing that one a little bit lackadaisical. You don't need to run that way around. You can just play it a little bit safer. I know that they probably feel like they're really, really strong right now, but you can't play lazy like that, or you're going to end up giving some really solid gold over to these carries.
Now, the good news here for Beef is that they're still up about 9,000 gold, right? Like, things are A-okay, even if they gave away all of these bounties that they have on their players, they'll still be okay. But it is getting a little worrisome that it feels like they're doing what everybody does when they've got a huge lead, and they're starting to throw it. They're getting a little over aggressive. So as long as they can play within themselves, they'll be just fine. But it is hitting the point of the game where maybe they're just being a little too over aggressive.
Definitely. And that is kind of the downfall of a lot of compositions like this. You know, they'll get ahead, they'll play really strong, and you start to play cocky. You start to play aggressive because you feel like, oh, we're really strong. They can't ever fight us. And then one wrong move, one lazy rotation leads you to giving a lot of gold over. And then all of a sudden, we can't take the fights the way that we had before because they're starting to hit their breakpoints. They're starting to actually be able to fight us in the right circumstances. Speaking of...
Oh, AFK Shadow. They're just going to go down. That is a free kill for That. That means the Baron is going to get started up. So if there is an answer here for Amber, that'll be really good for them. There's only 3 members on it. They have a lot of damage. But I don't know if they have all the DPS. The stun coming out. They have targeted this Victor. Victor, who's so strong, is going to get blown up without doing much of anything. The knockup's coming through. Goach is going to fall. The Baron throw.
No.
It's the Baron throw for Beef. They get put in the meat grinder. Bye, I love you, is able to pick that one up. And the Baron looks like it's going to go the way of Amber. Kaza trying to fight their way in. But they have to kite out this Ornn, who does do a surprising amount of damage. They're going to ghost. They get
the stun!
They go down, and this game has turned around, Tess.
Oh, we said it. We saw it, and it happened. Unfortunately there, it will be the Baron going over as we're seeing Alberta Alberta Amber. I keep forgetting they're both Alberta. Goodness gracious. But we see Alberta Amber
getting a win this game at least.
Yeah, Alberta is going to win no matter what. Congratulations to Alberta. You can be proud of yourselves tonight. But more importantly here, we saw them take out the Allow in the bot side, immediately roam over. This one might be a little bit aggressive here.
Oh, it could be a counter throw coming out here. A speed bag trying to get onto the back line, but has been stunned and will go down. Tears of Winter is very strong. Health bars halved for a couple of members, but the Xerath is the one who gets caught. Everybody's kind of low. Yoyi from one side. Ashol comes through. It hits the Bard, but Goach from the side is going to take down Violent Chill. And now, Bye I Loves You is kind of stuck with a lot of members near them. That is going to fall. It was the counter throw, Tess. You just throw the game to throw it right back.
And it's the tempo, right? Like, you got the Baron, but you don't have the time to get back to the Dragon before everybody is back up and ready to go. And the fact that Speedbag and Yoyi just went directly into the pit, there's no way for Xerath to get in there. There's no way for Ashe to get in there. There's no way for Ornn to get in there. They would have to use really important defensive spells in order to get into that pit and fight that. And they don't want to do that. So that ends up with you being very, very split right after you get a big win, and it costs them big time because now all of that pressure, all of that tempo they have built up here is gone back in favor of Alberta Beef, and they have control of the map again.
A sigh of relief for Beef. And a back-breaking fight loss there for Amber. And you can see how strong these champions are getting. Alawi is now on Mythic. Wasn't on Mythic during that bottom lane fight where they got caught, right? And now we're starting to see this Graves. Another serrated Dark in the inventory. He's getting pretty strong. We haven't really talked about Tears of Winter and the way that they've been farming almost 10 CS a minute. They're on 3.5 items right now. They've got the extra magic resist that they wanted. Goach is on their 2-item power spike. I mean, things are looking real good for them. But on the other side, you can't discount what That has done this game. But you can see Tears of Winter's damage. Ornn can't do anything about it. It doesn't matter that you're a super tank. Tears of Winter is just far too strong.
Yeah. Tears of Winter is still a very, very powerful character right now, and that Victor is just gonna burn through. It's also just like a Victor with Leandries, right? You're gonna burn a lot on that Ornn, and Ornn has been kind of just never getting his feet on the ground, which is going to cost you. It's Sunfire, it is Radiant Virtue. There's no magic resist on that Ornn because he's still just trying to get relevant enough to be able to go toe to toe with this Alawi and be a frontliner for the team.
Well, they found the right target. Can they take down Tears of Winter?
They've
tried so many times before, and it ends up being another 1-for-1. That's the third time they've tried to make a play onto Tears of Winter, and it's been a 1-for-1 twice. The other time he got out, it's just not working here for Alberta Amber.
Yeah, it's still just, you can't win these fights, and they're still just trying desperately to get in there, and I don't know. It's the Ashe is struggling a lot right now, and they're still trying to build that up. And yeah, it's not looking great. AFK Shadow, maybe.
Okay, one more.
Nope.
Oh, doesn't even need one more. The burn was there. Baby burn Disco Inferno, yo, that picking one up as well, trying to match what Tears of Winter has done this game, and they've done a pretty phenomenal job themselves. Oh, Astrokaza getting hooked up. There's a lot of damage coming up. But look on the backside, it's Memories with the double stun, but Speedbag is going to show up. Nobody was following up the play that Memories made, but Goach is going to try to open up on him. Flashes, but still get stunned anyway. A 2 for 2 for right now because Alawi not into this fight. Knock up onto the Graves. The Speedbag have the damage, not quite. 2 levels down, and your Mythic, it does not matter. Graves, that passive just makes him a little too tanky right now.
Yeah, I like the look from Memories, but again, there was just no follow-up. There's nobody coming around. It still does end up with Yo-Yi and Violent Chill going down. But again, I think these fights can be done cleaner. I think you can make this work out just a little bit easier for your team. It's also just, man, I feel really bad for Violent Chill and Yo-Yi because there's no real chance to make a lot of these plays happen when you have to worry about Twitch, Bard, Graves all just coming at you from any angle, and Thresh always has to be ready to lantern either this Ashe or this Xerath out of a bad situation.
Yeah, and you know what? Big credit to Beef. They haven't put themselves in a lot of positions to get picked off, right? We saw Goach earlier in the game get hit with an ult and a choke point all alone, but they couldn't get to him, right? And that was really their only opportunity where you saw a long-range Ashe engagement and it didn't result into anything, right? So they've done a very good job of just positioning to shut that down and just cut off another avenue of Amber trying to get in and trying to start fights. Hasn't happened yet, but Yo-Yi's hooks, they've been pretty good so far. Nobody there to follow up on the Memories yet, and Baron is going to be up very soon. So, Tess, I have a feeling we're going to see a fight shortly.
Very possibly. Neither one of these teams wants to give up this Baron at this point in the game because it's either going to be possibly game ending if Alberta Amber lose out on it. And if Alberta Amber do get it, it gives a major opportunity. There are no towers down for Alberta Amber right now. There is so much standing gold that they can get their hands on. They just need to get the right fight and get this objective. And death timers are starting to add up. So a team fight here. This is where this team wants to be. They want a team fight, and we're going to see it started.
They caught Memories. Memories going to take a lot of damage. The hook goes on to Tears of Winter. He gets knocked up as well, but nobody can get on top of him. AFK Shadow going to give their life to ensure the rest of their team stays alive. But now that means it's a 5v4. Flash forward. Speedbag in there, in the thick of things, but takes a lot of damage on the way out. Tears of Winter pretty much untouched. The Bard ultimate is massive. They have plenty of damage to be able to get it done. The stun goes down on the hook. But again, no follow-up. Tears of Winter has been CC'd a lot, but untouched most of the time. Astrokaza, Violent Chill put themselves in danger, and they're going to fall. Bye, Loves, you will be able to get a kill, but it doesn't matter. The damage is just far too strong out of Tears of Winter and Astrokaza. They win that fight down a man.
Yeah, and I am kind of surprised to see that. Yeah, AFK Shadow not able to provide a whole lot in that fight, but still at least getting the cooldowns down. Goach did go down pretty early, but at least got a little bit of damage across the board on most of the team, which allowed for then Tears of Winter and Astrokaza to clean up from there. And I think the Victor really is just the star of this team right now because he is the damage threat that is not really being itemized against very heavily. Ashe has that wit's end. We finally see the Abyssal Mask completed here for the Ornn, but up until just very recently here, it was just Ashe that had anything completed to stop this Victor, and Victor's still gonna put out damage. Like a single magic resist item is not gonna be enough.
Yeah, look, he's got double pen items plus boots. Like it's just a Tears of Winter game, right? And I'm very excited to see the damage charts at the end of the game because this Victor has been cutting them like a hot stick of butter through a knife. As we see the Baron get started up here, it's just far too much damage here. Xerath not going to be able to steal this away, but Goach is going to fall. We're going to see a kill happen on the other end because Tears of Winter is so damn strong, and I want to see them cook in this fight. Look at the damage that this Ornn is taking, just eroding away. Astrokaza is going to get that one. It's a 4v3 little power play here with the Baron, with the pushing lane on the top side. Yo, that is going to get trapped by multiple members. Ult's going to come out and hit the Graves, but it doesn't really matter. AFK Shadow going to tank this one up. Ultimate coming out from that Wukong will be able to get one for their troubles, but Tears of Winter is just still healthy. Somebody's got to try to stop this guy.
Yeah, he's just free hitting every single fight, and it's, again, a fight that is not a full 5v5 front to back for Alberta Amber, and that's just the downfall of this team. They have not gotten too many of them. A nice hook, but Yoyi's already dead, and
Oh, wow, this is just violent chill. And nothing they could do. Tears of Winter is going to back. They do have teleport available. Looks like they might be able to cap this one with the W. They are going to teleport back. Baya Loves You going to try to stop them. Armored up, but Tears of Winter, the magic damage has shown back up. The turrets are under siege. Looks like they're going to set their attention there. And there's no beef needed between these two teams because this one wasn't really close, Tess. A big game one here for Alberta Beef.
yeah, and Alberta Beef just kind of coming up big here in game one. And granted, it got a little bit dicey for a little bit. The Baron was the first Baron that we saw there was not ideal.
Yeah,
we did see a little bit of a throw there, but the counter throw was picked up on, and Alberta Beef did take advantage of that, and that did just let them close out the game strongly. And just look at the damage here, as I'm gonna make sure that we get the.
It's ridiculous. 44K
Yeah, it is
damage compared to Yo That, who we thought had a pretty good game, only 28K damage, nearly outdamaged them by 20K. And the mid jungle duo for Alberta Beef was just far too strong this game. Combined 24 and 19 scoreline is just way too good. And you know, credit to Goach as well. We didn't really get to talk about him too much because it kind of felt like he fell off. No, they hard focused him down, right? They hard focused him down. It allowed the rest of the team to cook. AFK Shadow made a bunch of really good team plays, especially in that fight near the Baron that ended up being a win for Beef. Sacrificing their life to make sure that Tears of Winter did not die because they got hit by every CC in the book. This is a team that, you know, listen, it's like that meme where, you know, the grenades and the knives are flying in the air and the guy's just T-posing and protecting the sleeping person. That was AFK Shadow this game. Got to give him a lot of credit.
Yeah, no, brought a lot of people over and did so much in terms of just providing the pressure that was then utilized to create picks, right? How many times did we see them go after AFK Shadow and then try to collapse back over to the rest of the team, and then they're already prepped, they're ready to go, catching people out on the rotations. We never really saw one full team fight from Alberta Amber, and it was a team fight that they didn't even really win. Right, it was that second Baron fight where they finally got all their ultimates utilized, and they did take out Gosha early. But the important thing about that was they took out the Twitch. They did not take out the Victor, and that was the one that they really needed to focus in that situation. The target selection not, I think, working out as ideally as they had hoped for, and the one time they got that 5v5, it just didn't work, and it never happened again.
Yeah, we'll have to see how Alberta Amber changes up their direction. Was it just, you know, calling out targets? Was it their team composition? It felt like they got a composition that they were really comfortable with. It wasn't really contested at all throughout the draft. And they felt like they put together 5 really good team fighting champions. But unfortunately, the champions that just like to skirmish around and try to win the early game are the ones that got there first. So they're going to have to go back to the drawing board, see if they can slow down the Beef, potentially play a little bit differently to not allow the Beef to get too far ahead. We're going to take a very short break while the teams reconvene. And when we're back, we'll see it in the draft for game 2 between Alberta Beef and Alberta Amber. Welcome back, Style Esports fans, as we're getting into the draft here for Game 2 between Alberta Beef and University of Alberta Amber. Alberta Beef put together a nice skirmishing composition last time. I had some doubts. Thousand Eyes had her doubts, but in the end, they were able to pull it out with the dub. Now we're going to see them on swapped sides here as Beef now going to be on the blue side, that rare Beef that you were talking about earlier, as they're going to keep at least some of the early bands the same, both of these sides, as Anunu and Shen are off the board.
Yeah, I'm not expecting anything to change for Beef. I think they're pretty happy with how that game went. Granted, it was a little bit shaky, but the shakiness came from the decision making, not the champions played here. And I see now at least a little bit why the victor was picked up, just because it did do so well. It just seems like a very comfortable pick here. For oh my goodness, they all went in different areas. Tears of Winter.
Tears of Winter, yes.
Yeah, like I went to go look and I was like, oh, make sure I have the name right. And then I looked at the lobby right now and no one's even on the right team side.
Yeah, they'll figure it out.
They'll figure it out. I hope they do.
Yeah, and bands still relatively the same here. So, Thousand Eyes, I do want to ask, what differences do you want to see come out for Alberta Amber here? What composition, what about the last one did you not like? I know you talked about it earlier. You thought it was a little bit low on damage. What do you want them to change this time around?
I think they need something a little bit more consistent than the Thresh. The Thresh looked a little rough in the early game. We had a lot of hooks into minions that did not really end up with them getting onto the Twitch. Even when the Twitch was alone, they weren't able to confirm any kills. And when they tried to then go for roams, they did not end up making them work out because they did not have the damage on this Ashe either. So I think bot lane maybe switch things up just a little bit here. I also think I don't know if I'm a believer in the Xerath yet. I think it did fine, but I don't think it did anything that you can't get from other mid laners that can also create opportunities for you. Like, we didn't see Xerath do anything to create something for man, I keep wanting to say Atlanta. Alberta Amber. Alberta Amber just kind of was like, oh, cool, we got a kill with the Xerath ult afterwards, but it was always a trade. It was always okay, we went even because of that. It was never, we poked them out enough so we won something from it.
Right. And we talked about that. That's something that they needed to do, and they just weren't able to do so, right? It felt like they were going full engage first as opposed to, hey, let's try to poke them out sort of thing. And we talked about how like teams can be really impatient with that sort of thing. And it was the downfall there of Alberta Amber. And the Beef, they're going to go very different here compared to what they had. It's going to be a Seraphine lock-in.
Interesting here. Now, I am now interested to see like what's going to happen here, because this is a flexible pick. Obviously, there is the possibility of a support. I don't think that is the right choice for a Seraphine in her current state. I think either mid lane or more likely to be in that bot lane, which opens up a lot of, unique compositions. Now you have the possibility of a Tristana mid. You have the possibility of running a lot more AD on other areas of the map, which I could assume Beef may want to go for because they liked being aggressive. They liked being really aggro. Last time, they pick up really strong, roaming mid laners that can, some kind of assassin maybe. Now Beef can still play that same style while also getting a really solid just backbone of a composition.
Amber switching gears themselves as well, seeing an Ezreal come out instead of an Ashe. More damage, more protection for themselves to be able to get themselves out of trouble. No CC. Sona the lock and much more poke than Thresh. Not really going to be huge on picks unless you get that ultimate out, but those team fight ultimates will be huge. Worse, Seraphine, some have called it, but looking to kind of buck that is the side of Memories, trying to just make sure that everything they're gonna go show that they're the better Sona, right?
Yeah. I mean, granted, Sona has the consistency, right? Like you're getting move speed across everybody. You're getting a extra damage for everybody. Whereas Seraphine, doesn't really have that same level. You know, you have to be able to hit your skill shots in order to make that champion work. Amber, it's you hit the button, you get bonuses, which can be really important here, as we are going to see that Jarvan locked in. And Amber, I think, looking for a very similar composition, but this time going for something that has a little bit more of an engine in the early game. The Wukong generally likes to have that level 6 in order to really make a gank work. Jarvan does not have that worry, does not have that fear, can go in at a moment's notice. And when you have these scaling laners like you were already seeing in the bot lane with the Ezreal and Sona, it can be something to give you a push. It could be the thing that gets you to hit item breakpoints and become stronger earlier than you normally would, and basically scale before you normally would just try and wait and scale.
Yeah, and this bot lane is so gankable, right? Like Seraphine Senna, you
Yeah.
can really do some damage, especially if they get a push. It looks like it is going to be Seraphine in the carry role here. So they're going to be able to have more pushing power than the Ezreal on the other side. Does mean that Jarvan can slide in at level 2 if they're not aware of it. Does feel like most players are aware of it at this point in time. But you never know how the game ends up shaking out, what they want to do. Bans, again, really the same, except it's going to be Lulu available and Malphite banned. Obviously, they've already made their support pick, so not really too much care in the world by leaving the Lulu available. And Xerath is going to be that final ban. They found it pesky enough that they didn't want to deal with it. I kind of agree, right? Xerath is one of those champions that, you get poked out. It's not a fun time. And you see, they're going to lock in the Jace. So clearly they still had poke on the mind, did Alberta Amber.
Yeah, this is another like siege composition. You're trying to poke people out, push them off objectives with the health advantage, and then utilize that to then take objectives, take wins, get towers, utilize all of that. That's what we're trying to see a little bit more of from Amber. This is a little bit different because last time they did have the engage. They had the opportunity to fight as a 5. This is almost never going to want to fight. And what I really want to see is really solid disengage from Amber in the top side. Because right now, what we're seeing is a lot of poke. We're seeing the engage on the Jarvan if they're ahead, so they have a go button. But Sona, I don't think alone is enough to stop what Beef have put together, especially when you have the Vladimir who could just go into the pool and dodge it out.
Yeah, Beef going. It's really funny because we talked about how they kind of shifted gears with Seraphine Senna, but this entire composition, it still has the essence of what they had last time, right? A late game scaling champion in either the mid lane or it could even be a Vlad top. Not sure yet. But Victor and Vlad, a ton of similarities. Pantheon, a lot of similarities to Alawi. I mean, this team is looking once again to scrap. We're going to see a Malzahar come out on the other end. And I think this is a fantastic pick into a lot of what Beef wants to do.
Yeah, and it's going to be really solid earlier on because Malzahar generally does not push terribly well early until he gets some items and can actually get enough damage on his E to push the wave. Vlad is also really not known for pushing until having some damage either. So neither of these lanes liable to get shoved in and have to deal with roams coming in from either side. Obviously, still have to be aware of it, but less likely to happen. And then you're also seeing, okay, well, if Malzahar doesn't get hit by anything, Seraphine ult doesn't matter. If we see because Malzahar could just use the spell shield for that. I'm a little, again, concerned because we still don't have really solid disengage, which is pretty important for a lot of poke compositions. It's where you see, again, like something like the Nunu would be great. Because if you have to try and run through a Nunu ult to get onto an Ezreal Sona Jace, like that's a really big stopper to keep teams away from you. Fortunately, just not really given any opportunities to pick anything up like that, it seems.
Yeah, and they've just decided, you know what, we're going to poke you out and we're going to full engage and we're not going to worry about anything else. There is no disengage option here, Tess. They are just deciding they are living and dying by what they've put together. Now, a couple of interesting things here. I think that I'm not quite sure where the Pantheon Vladimir are going. And this is pretty important because Malzahar against a Pantheon, I think is a really good neutralizing lane. But Malzahar against the Vladimir, you're just going to allow Vladimir plenty of time to scale up and farm. So you're really hoping you coin flip into that Pantheon or that you did your homework and you know the Pantheon's headed mid for Tears of Winter.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a quick look here. It looks like the Vlad is gonna be going mid if I had to guess here. Yeah, Pantheon. Yeah,
Yeah, I
a
thought it was
lot of
pretty
Pantheon
likely
for AFK
myself.
Shadow. I just looking at what the players are playing on
Yeah.
their OPGGs. It is a Vlad game for the mid laner, and then a lot of Pantheon on the top side. So I'd expect AFK Shadow to be taking that Pantheon up there against what should be the Jace,
Mhm.
and then that is going to just be, you know, scale for scale, I guess, in that mid lane, which I think Vlad is pretty okay with, especially when,
Mhm.
again, you have a Senna and a Seraphine to just keep giving health to the Vlad.
Yeah, 100%. And you don't want to move Malzahar to the top lane, right? Because then you lose out on him hitting level 6 and making roams happen. But I don't really know how the Jace Pantheon matchup is, but it feels like it'll be fine for AFK Shadow to just kind of chill out, put their shield up, try to reduce the amount of damage that they take. It is going to put a lot of the onus on Astakaza to start making plays and being really aggressive, and will this time be against a jungler that is looking to match that sort of aggression, right? So we
Mm,
could see this early game play out much differently than we did last time.
very much so. I mean, it's I at the very least like that Amber now have some level of early game advantage that they didn't really super have last time, because yeah, the Wukong is like fine in terms of his ability to like go toe to toe with a lot of champions, but we didn't see Wukong play around the bot side, which generally had the push with the Ash Thresh. We didn't see Wukong really be able to do anything on the top side because the Alawi was really, really strong. So I like that this is just a champion that can create opportunities. And that's what we did not see at all from Amber last time. They just kind of never got their feet on the ground until that Baron happened, and they had the unfortunate then move over to the dragon. So now Amber at least have an early game to play around with. And if Jarvan starts getting a lane ahead, you just keep ganking it. You keep getting the money, and you could snowball that into something big. And Ezreal Sona are always going to be there, and they're always going to be strong as you get later into the game.
And we'll see if that scaling can match up against the scaling that we see on Beef, which is the Vladimir, that infinitely scaling Senna. It's going to be another interesting game here, Thousand Eyes. I'm excited because I think we're going to see a lot more early game action than we saw the last time. We're going to take a very short break as we're heading into the spectator delay. And when we return, Beef looking to take a clean 2-0, while Alberta Amber are looking to force a game 3. All right, Style Esports fans, it could be our last game of the night. I know everybody's hoping for a game 3 between these two teams. So we're seeing a Beef and Amber, both Alberta teams hitting the rifts. See, everybody's flooding into the top side. Speedbag is realized. All right, it's probably time to run away. As Memories really wants this auto attack test.
Yeah, really wants to get the stacks going, but will
No
not be able to
stacks.
do so. No stacks. And it is just going to be a trade of vision across the board here. So the resets will occur. Yoyi gets the opportunity to go into the enemy jungle fully free of fear, which is not something Sonas can say very often.
Yeah, for real. I mean,
Oh,
we
wait,
all
he
know
actually
that
stopped the
Sona.
backs.
We all know that Sona has a little bit more health than a melee minion at level 1. So
Yeah.
it is always a little worrisome to get in there, but a nice ward going down. We're going to see Astakaza start off on the bottom side. They're going to be well aware that he's starting down there.
Yeah.
And Jarvan starting up on the top side is weird. That's interesting.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I guess I get it from the standpoint of Seraphine said it early bot. You can even with an Ezreal Sona, you can still make something happen because Jarvan alone is enough there. It was interesting to note too the fact that Graves did get the back interrupted, which does mean that you don't get the sweeper. So there is not going to be the knowledge of are you walking on a ward or not that usually you would have in a trade like that.
That's a fantastic call out. That's something I really thought of. As you can see, Memories putting in a lot of damage, just being an overall disruptor, taking some back as well. People forget Ezreal can hit you hard with those Qs. Jarvan opting for a full clear top side, so it doesn't look like we're going to see a level 2 gank, which I always get so disappointed by, mostly because I want blood.
Oh yeah, I mean it sucks, but Jarvan just going to be clearing out here, taking all of this top side, and going to be also just chased off here a little bit by the Vladimir, who has gotten that early push enough.
Tears of Winter's insane.
Oh,
Memories! What happened? Oh, that's one to forget there. It's first blood going over to Violent Chill, and not the way you want to start this game if you're Beef.
That's really bad too, because you were looking at it like, okay, we have until Jarvan gets to the bot side. Then we have to start playing a little bit safer, and then we try to just look to scale up from that point. Playing that early and aggressive now, getting an early kill on the Ezreal. One of the things that Ezreal can really do that can't really be matched by especially a Seraphine, is get that sheen and immediately start being a real big threat in this lane. Because both these bot laners are very squishy. Sheen hits are going to hurt really, really bad. And it takes a full item for really either one of these champions to start doing something. As top lane.
Yeah, it's just textbook gank there from Astakaza, getting the job done, answering back nicely on the top side. And Jace is going to lose so much under that turret, not just his flash.
TP's going to get used, which is at least going to fix some of that, but importantly too, flash used and not really to any benefit. That was unfortunately just a little bit of a wasted flash, and Vi Loves You now has to be worried for multiple reasons. One, Pantheon getting onto a Jace is going to be scary every single time, but now Graves is going to be on the hunt for that top lane gank again, because both of those summoners are down.
Oh, yeah, he's got Juicy on the back of his sweatpants right now. Graves really wants to go after him and get another repeat kill. And if you get put in another position like that, that's a game ender, right? That scenario of being forced to teleport back, really rough, but the game-ending situations are just absolutely back-breaking. We're going to see more trading here on the bot lane. I like it. They're just going after each other. Senna Seraphine, who don't really have that much damage this early, they're trying to buck that. They're trying to beat those allegations.
Yeah, we're still also waiting on the back here. This is maybe Violent Chill, a little bit of trouble.
That's a heal burn.
Heal burned by Yoyi to make sure the AD carry stays alive. And Violent Chill still hasn't backed, right? So that advantage that they've gotten has not been utilized. So this is still an even lane at the moment here. I'm kind of surprised we didn't see Ezreal back earlier to just try and really take advantage of that, because the gold is definitely there. We're sitting at 1,300 gold. You could back a long time ago for that. Meanwhile, though, whoa, what happened mid?
Yeah, Tears of Winter just turret diving at level 6 as a Vladimir is just so wild to me. Like that Tears of Winter's insane. Like this is a damn good player. And look at the dive coming in here from AFK Shadow, and they're gonna go down. Jace is gonna be able to catch that whole wave. Memories, you might be in the wrong spot here. Flag and drag doesn't knock up. The root goes down. His Memory's going to be able to get out of there. The Sona speed up isn't going to be enough. Goach has realized that, oh, wait, they've shown up to the party. The slows have been laid. Goach is out of mana. They're just trying to delay, waiting for Graves to show up, but Memories is going to fall. But here comes Ashikaza. A couple of low health bars. There's a good opportunity here for them to get some kills. No. The exhaust. He doesn't care about your damn exhaust. Is Yoyi is going to be the next target. Speedbag has gotten out of there, but we're going to be staring at a 3-0 Graves right now. As Graves just want to get the swag kill, popping the balloon, popping the Sona, 3 kills in the pocket.
Unironically, Memories keeping that alive for so long turned that into a win for Alberta Beef. It was looking really, really rough there. The flag and drag missing, and then Memories getting away. The flag and drag missing a second time there, and that's when Violent Chill and Yoyi have to move in to make sure they secure that kill. But all that time, Astakaza moves down and gets into the fight at the end of it, and there's no opportunity then, no shift for the Ezreal to get out, no opportunity for Yoyi, obviously, as the Sona, and that's not a word you want to put down. Tears of Winter. But yeah, bot lane, major win, and we're seeing Astakaza 3-0 again very early in this game.
Love to see if the bot lane of Alberta Amber can turn it around. You mentioned it. That Ezreal Sheen is now online. Health bars aren't so big here. Memories, look at the damage that you take. Sure, they heal a little bit back, but that's a big yikes here. Tears of Winter getting into a fight, but is going to run right into Speedbag. That ultimate is going to go down. That's going to be a freebie there. That picking that one up and knotting up the kill score. But despite all that, it's still about a 1,500 gold lead here for Beef, as that ultimate's going to come down from the Seraphine Flash of Burnt by Sona.
I don't know how realistic it would be that they get a kill off of that, but now we're seeing top lane fights.
We're seeing realistic kills up in the top lane. AFK Shadow and Asakaza are so damn strong. Is Bai Loves You going to get the dub there? And not so. A 2-for-1 in favor of the Beef.
Yeah, a good turnaround. And again, now it's not only just a 2-for-1, but it is Asakaza getting another kill. 4-0 on the Graves. Violent Chill. Gonna just back away here now as it's looking a little rough here because it's Jace going down again. 2 deaths on that Jace. Pantheon still is in control of this lane, I think. I don't think Jace has hit a point now where Pantheon is not a threat, and you're missing more minions again into that tower right now. No teleport to get over there.
Oh, Speedbag is in so much trouble. Tears of Winter was able to get there first, and Jace is nowhere close. Ghost popped, and it's another kill here, parlayed by this Graves. Is 4-0-2 with 7 kills on the board for the team. You can see Yoyi and Violent Chill having some problems, and flying in his AFK Shadow. Definitely not AFK this game. A big willing participant able to take out Yoyi and Violent Chill. Has to shift out of there. Not too much they can do. Down about 30 CS as well, and 3 plates.
Yeah, and this is what Pantheon can do, right? You get all that stuff happens topside. Before you go back top, just alt bot. And I think ideally you have your jungler up on the top side to be able to just catch the wave, but it still works out. They get the kill, and it's tempo again, right? We've seen kills in the top side where we see Alberta Beef just win out on the fight. We see the bot lane fight earlier that worked out well. You go back to the bot lane, get them another win. All of a sudden, how does this game feel like it's going? It's all the tempo going in favor of Alberta Beef, who then can continue to move that forward and continue to get more of these objectives here as we're seeing the Dragons started up.
Goach and Memories, they haven't backed yet, and Goach is very low, so Astakaza is going to have to send some help into the bot lane, but Violent Chill is in a lot of trouble. That charm is going to go out. Memory is going to be able to pick up the kill. Dragon taking down in just a couple of moments here, it looks like, by the side of Alberta Amber, but the Rift Herald getting dropped after that pick on the Jarvan. They picked it up on the top side of the map. This turret's going to fall. It's going to be a first turret going down pre-11 minutes in the bot lane tests. I mean, it's a 4,000 gold lead in the blink of an eye. Alberta Beef have expanded this lead. Flash for flash up on the top side. AFK Shadow just trying to hang on here against this chase.
Yeah, you can't really dive Pantheon for a multitude of reasons. Point and click CC, the invulnerability if you're facing the right way. Not going to really be possible here, but that is first tower down in favor of Alberta Beef. Well,
RIP in peace. Yep. Yeah. We knew it was going to happen. Just a matter of who was going to get it. It's a third kill for this Vladimir. We expected this to just be a neutralizing lane here, but Tears of Winter has been able to pretty much go where they please, doing a nice Mundo cosplay. Yeah. And 11 minutes into the game, 3 kills on your late game carry, 4 kills on to your early game carry. They're looking to cruise to a game 2 victory here, our Alberta Beef.
Yeah, I mean, in the super early game there is Yoyi. I don't think you want to be that close there, buddy. Here comes
Yoyi can turn this. Teleport coming in. It's going to be almost a 4v2. Yoyi very low. Goach is going to be able to just walk it out. No, it's going to be a flash suppress. Goach is going to fall, and now it's still a 4v2. Jarvanolt's going to land. Memories is going to fall. Astakaza, not much he can do, but Tears of Winter flashing in, picking up 2 real quickly, and now you know they want to go after Bye I Loves You. The Ghost is running for them right now. They've been silenced. They've been exhausted. How much are they going to heal? They're not going to heal a whole lot, but Pantheon flying in. Bye I Loves You on top of Tears of Winter, but turns it around and finds their 3rd kill of the fight. It ends up being a 3 for 3 overall, or no, a 3 for 3 overall, but you're still happy with it if you're Beef.
Yeah, it's such a forced engage by Alberta Amber, who just go really deep in. Yeah, okay, you get the Seraphine, but you flash Malzahar ulted and tried to get in there with everybody else. Cataclysm looked really solid, but again, mid laner not touched as the fight's gonna continue.
Speedbag is dead. Seraphine ult's only gonna hit 1, but it's another quick pick there, and the Beef are putting Alberta Amber through the meat grinder.
Yeah. Not exactly how you would expect that to go, but the Beef is in control now, and the Beef will continue to push these towers down. It's just, again, the mid lane has kind of opened up. The jungle has opened up really solidly as well. And between those two, like Tears of Winter getting a lead early on as a Vladimir of all things.
Well, Astakaza might be in trouble here. They're going to try to find a way out. Flag and drag over the wall, just going to make things a little bit harder. They will finally fall, but Memory is going to follow it up. And actually, it's Astakaza getting that kill, firing off that last second Q. Means that it's, again, a 1-for-1. It feels like it's been the story of the series here, Tess. Every time Amber sends multiple members over to take out one, it ends up being a 1-for-1.
Yeah, it's never just a hard win. And that's that, like, aspect of their pressure just not working out. A nice ult.
I don't know if he wins this. Nope. All right. Yep. Does not win it. Memories could be in a little bit of trouble. Nothing but a memory for right now. Ult going down on to Gochu is going to flash away. Don't have the damage to be able to take them down just yet, but it is at least something in the mid lane here. Some breathing room for Alberta Amber. One last plate to take before they all fall, but nope, that wave gets cleared out.
Yeah, and meanwhile, topside, after that kill, Vladimir is just going to push here, and I think we'll get this last plate before it drops as Speedbag.
Bang.
Another EQ miss.
Speedbag's out of mana. Like, Speedbag cannot actually fight this, and Tears of Winter heals for 364.
Yep. Welcome to level 9 and up, Vladimir.
Or a 7 kill Vladimir, maybe.
Well, I mean, that's also true, but it's important to get that level 9 for the Q cooldown.
Oh my, Yoyi has to flash away. But, you're right. It is important. And, now it's level 11 Vladimir, who's got second rank ultimate up. Got solo gold for that turret as well. I mean, it is just an absolute mess, this game. Vladimir, 7,200 gold compared to the 4,400 of That on the other side.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big disparity, if I'm honest.
Didn't have to do him like that, man.
Listen, nothing against That. It's just Tears of Winter was just able to kind of do whatever he wanted.
Yeah. It all came down from that early pressure there, which, okay, we'll see the disengage. It came down from that early control, right? We said how both lanes are pretty weak in terms of wave pressure, which should allow for Malzahar to just kind of safely clear, but the pressure was enough to get under the tower, and at that point, Malzahar trying to walk up and farm is just going to get pelted by Vladimir Q's, and it wasn't played around enough there to try and make something happen. So that just kind of starts giving a little bit of freedom to the Vlad. Now we're seeing this dragon started up. Nice ult.
Oh, it's going to hit one member, and now flying in is that Pantheon. They forced him off of the dragon. Astakaza is now showing up to the party. It's a double kill there for Memories, and everybody on the side of Alberta Beef are just so damn healthy. They get the Rift Herald, they get the dragon, they drop the Rift Herald in mid lane. That doesn't look like they're going to be able to stop it. That turret's going to go down. Going to get a bunch of ward gold on the way out, and the map is their oyster right now. For Alberta Beef, we've gone from, beef on the range to shellfish here, and they are not a shellfish team here. They are spreading the love, the gold everywhere, but maybe not the kills. So they're looking for a mid-tier 2 as well, and everybody's going to revel. 125 gold apiece for the squad. 16 minutes in, up 10K.
Man, you're killing me. This is too many food puns coming at me right now.
And they're all bangers. That's the best part.
Yeah, and this is another game now where we have seen Alberta Beef take a bunch of towers, open up the map, and there's nothing for Alberta Amber there. They have not taken any towers down. And granted, again, lots of standing gold
don't
open there. Don't.
Oh, no, he fell for it. Teleport coming in. Wait, AFK Shadow might be dead. He helped him out a little too late. Astakaza got ulted, stunned, down to about half HP. But Goach is going to be able to help him out. That is there, is going to suppress him and going to be able to find the kill. But it ends up being another trade of kills. It's a double kill for Goach. Fight off to the side. It's Memories. It's Violent Chill. Memories has been exhausted. Memories is all alone. Has to flash the Q, and they do. They're going to get a bit of a heal out, but the last auto attack will do it. Violent Chill still alive for now. Ezreal coming out. Doesn't do a whole lot to Goach. And look at the top side of the map. Tears of Winter doesn't even need to show up to these fights. Says, I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to push this top side turret. Get a bunch more gold in the pocket. That looking to answer, but That does not have the suppression available. Speedbag is here for the potential knock-up. They're going to ult. Tears of Winter is low on HP, and they will get attacked by everybody else. Able to get a big shutdown.
That's really big shutdown, because that gave enough gold for the Manamune completion, which is such a very big item for this Ezreal. 700 gold over to him. Sorry, 700 extra gold. So it was 1,000 gold kill. As Pantheon's going to come in. We're not done yet.
All right. Well, he's going to flash, and now he's going to turn his sights on to this Jarvan, who is going to fall. But now it's going to be a 3v1. It looks like they're starting to get a little too aggressive again. Make it a 4v1 as they're going to fall. But Memories and Goach are here. Seraphine ultimate whiffs, but Astakaza on the backside here. They're just kind of bringing up the rear. They want to get some kills. They're looking for Violent Chill. They found Violent Chill, who is going to shift over the wall. They'll be A-okay for now. And just the sheer aggressiveness is just... I like it. I like the Alberta Beef. Big fan.
I like it, especially because we're seeing the Vladimir continue to push through all of this and get a lot from that. Now, granted, I think dying under tower obviously did not need to happen. But I like this with that. I think it's a little scary still, because you are still trading gold, and a trade in gold for the team that is behind does slowly bring them back to parity. So you have to be careful how much you're trading those 1-for-1s and how much you're getting from what you're doing on the opposite side of the map. Because if you are just saying we're trading 1-for-1, so it's fine, we're still scaling or whatever, that's closing the gap from a percentage standpoint as the game goes on.
Yeah, it feels like we're hitting the part of the game where things have slowed up here for the Alberta Beef. Remember, they hit that lull last time around, gave away a couple of kills, gave away a big objective, and could have found themselves in a lot of trouble. That dropping the ultimate, but Tears of Winter still standing regardless. Going to be at about half HP. Speedbag has to sprint away at half HP as Astakaza in hot pursuit. They get the turret that they wanted, and you're just slowly eroding the map here as Alberta Amber, not too much they can do. You can see how far behind this Jarvan is falling.
Yeah, that going for the ultimate there, but again, nobody to really follow up on it immediately. And we saw Jarvan and Sona over on the other side. Just, you're not getting in there. Speaking of...
Hi, Jarvan. I don't know if you're going to be able to find a way out. Memories, it's a lot of attack speed, has a lot of slows. There's another kill into the ledger. Violent Chill's got to flash away, but they got Vlad Ultimate on them. There was no way they were finding a way out. Oh my god, Tears of Winter does so much damage. It's going to be a 5v2. Some of the best wave clear that you can want on a team here to just try to make sure that they don't lose any structures in their base. But the Alberta Beef going to turn toward the Baron.
Which should be their opportunity to just open things up. They have the ability to just take this pretty easily. Nobody's going to contest them on it. And it's just the power that this team kind of plays around with, right? It's a very similar composition, I think, into what they had last time, where it's a lot of skirmishy champions. You do have at least one team fight champion with the Seraphine, and Senna as well can be very team fight focused. But you're seeing these champions that can just win in the 1v1 continue to take those 1v1s, and we're not seeing Alberta Amber back off enough from those. They can't, they keep ending up falling behind early on, and that just allows for these champions that want to just keep fighting to keep fighting.
Speedbag is not going to stop fighting. 2-8-11. We're staring 2-9-11 in the face, but they're still alive for right now. Dragon going to be taken down. And Asakaza completely alone right now, but is just a-okay. Look at the items that they have.
Yeah.
Fights going on the other sides as well. There's the 2-9-11. A little bit of damage, but I don't know, just not too much that can be done. Double
Nice
charm
charm.
here. They're looking to just end this game right now. That is an auto attack away from death. A triple kill for Astakaza, and they've got a quadra kill on the mind. They're going to dive this Ezreal. That one's going to go over to memories. The base has been broken. It's just the inhibitor and the Nexus turrets left, and everybody is still standing for the Alberta Beef. The death timer's still a little lengthy, about 10 seconds on 2 of their members, but I don't think it's going to be enough, Thousand Eyes.
Yeah, it kind of depends how they fight this one out. We'll have to see. Nexus Tower going down 1. Here comes Jarvan.
Yep. There goes Jarvan. Maya Loves You manages to find one, but that's all they are going to get. Just the story of 1-for-1s. The turrets have fallen. The Nexus is exposed. And a big 2-0 clean victory there for the Alberta Beef.
But Alberta Beef, honestly, looking much better, I think, in this game than we did see in the previous game, as they will finally close out on that Nexus. But they looked better, I think, in game number 1, or sorry, in game number 2, because they didn't have that same level of like macro mistake that we saw. Every time they were trading the 1-for-1s, they did just have somebody on that opposite side, and that just completely tore the game open, because it's taking away the small wins that you do see the opposing team getting. You're just not allowing anything to happen there. So I'm really happy to see Beef kind of turn this around from what did get a little bit scary in game 1, and kind of recognize that and not play into that same thing in game 2.
Yeah, it started happening for a little bit, but I wonder if the comms were just like, guys, we're kind of doing it again. Can we not, throw this game and, get gifted a throw on the way back? And they decided to focus up a little bit. Didn't run into a lot of those issues as they did in game 1, as you mentioned, and in fact did look a lot better. And I mean, this team looks really, really strong. I mean, their solo lanes are just so good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I am very, very impressed. You could also just see just how ridiculously even the damage is across this team. It's kind of scary how strong every individual team member was in this game.
Yeah, from worst to greatest damage share, Senna did 14.1k, Pantheon 14.5, Seraphine 15.8, Vladimir 16.6, and Graves 17k. I mean, they were all well within each other. And that's why I said, the team not being selfish, right? They're spreading the love around. They spread the damage love. Yeah, sure. 2 of them combined for 23 of their team's 35 kills. But, everybody had a hand in this victory, and a big one it was.
Absolutely. And I think also this, I think there were some more positives to look at here from Alberta Amber as well, at least from the standpoint of, we did see the Ezreal start to do well. We did get a strong early play from Ezreal, which ended up getting a kill, kind of being able to snowball that, I think, a little bit from there. And they did capitalize on the Vladimir being a little bit too far forward on that top side push there. There's wins here. I think I don't think the Jarvan worked out exactly as they were looking for. There was a couple of missed EQs that you would like to see, but it does at least give me a little bit of hope here because the Ezreal looked solid. I think you have the right ideas in terms of the plays that you're looking to make happen. It's just a little bit of cleanup here and there to really settle things in to the right place to start getting some of those wins.
Yeah, and let's be honest, Spy Loves You did, 18k damage, had 9 kills. Like, they had plenty of damage on their team. Just may have run into a team that's just a little bit better than them at this point, or at least played better than them today. But I can't imagine the next time these two teams meet, if they do again, that it'll be a 2-0, or at least in the manner that it was, where it didn't really feel like Alberta Amber was in it at all until that one Baron throw. But that should do it for us here tonight, Tess. You are the one who is consistently casting for Style Esports. So tell us what Style has going on.
I mean, yeah, we have games happening most nights of the week here because I am here most nights of the week trying to get broadcasts going. And I don't have anything lined up as of right now. We do usually do that on a Sunday to Saturday basis, but I know that pretty much if we have people available, we are going to be casting, and I am going to be available pretty frequently. So expect most nights to at least have some kind of a Style broadcast going on. So do not miss out on that.
Hell yeah, keep your eye out for that Twitch notification that says that Style is streaming. But that'll do it for us. So for myself and Thousand Eyes, who was the color and the producer on top of it, thank you very much for being here with us tonight. We hope you enjoyed these games. We hope to see you next time for some more Style Esports action.